Hey, Wade Galt here. Hope you're doing awesome and hope you had a great weekend. If you're in the United States, you might have just enjoyed a 4-day weekend. Lots of time to have some turkey, spend time hopefully with family, relax a little, or maybe you had just a little less work than normal. What I want you to consider is what's the pace you've been living at in the most recent days? Now, hopefully, you got a chance to slow down a little bit and enjoy life a little more, or maybe you didn't. And if you think about these last 4 days, again, if you got a chance to slow down and enjoy them, what would prevent you from doing that more often? And on the flip side of that, if you find yourself still moving very fast, very hurried, very in a rush to get wherever you need to get, what is it that it would take for you to slow down? And perhaps more specifically, what is it that you're racing towards? Is there some sort of achievement you're hoping to do? Is there some sort of finish line or result or goal that you've set? Or is this just a habit? Is this hurriedness? Is this pace something that you've just gotten used to and kind of made yourself deal with? Most of the times when I talk to people about their patterns and how they invest their time and what they're doing, they're kind of clear on a couple goals. They're usually not very clear on timelines, which means there's a lot of default rushing and hurriedness that's going on. Some of it comes because we're maybe just a little scared to think that if we slowed down, that the world would be okay. Nothing would blow up. The world would be just fine. It was fine before we left, or before we got here. It's going to be fine after we leave. And so what I'm going to encourage you to consider is think about what is it that you're aiming for? What are the one or two or absolute three most important goals or objectives or visions in your life of everything, all categories, personal life, professional life, family, everything. So if you could only have somewhere between 1 to 3 things, maybe it'd be a better relationship with a family member. Maybe it would be more free time to enjoy life. Maybe it would be time to enjoy a certain hobby. Maybe it would be to travel. If you only had, let's say, 2 or 3 things that you're focusing on, and those are absolute of most critical importance, and you put those at the center, what you'd realize is that a lot of your rushing, a lot of your hurrying, and this applies to me too, is not necessary. A lot of the times we're rushing and we're racing because we've been told that if we do that, we're going to get somewhere faster. And maybe we will. Or maybe we won't. The question becomes what we're racing towards. If we're specifically moving towards a goal and it requires a certain amount of work to achieve it, let's say we're building something that has a very clear end. So we're writing a book, we're building a house, we're doing something, we're creating a garden. On one level, moving at a faster pace might get you the result you're looking for to reach the destination. But the question would become, is it the destination itself that's the goal, or is it some sort of destination and something more? What do I mean by that? Well, if you're growing a garden, the garden is going to grow if the seeds are planted properly, if all the processes and the way that you would plant seeds and farm and all the different steps in that are done correctly. That's very different than having a goal of simply throwing some seeds into some dirt. And so even in that situation, while on one hand, someone might say, look, Wade, there's a natural timing. There are seasons, and let's say I'm growing a certain type of plant or fruit or vegetable that is seasonal. I have some deadlines I need to meet. Okay, great. And yet at the same time, if you plant faster, if you dig faster, at some point, you're digging fast enough. You're planting fast enough. If you're writing a book, at some point, you're writing that book fast enough. You're getting somewhere fast enough. And anything more than that is really just unnecessary. And what I'm going to suggest to you is that when you can choose your pace in life, when you get to stop being run by other people's agendas, other people's ideas of what's best for you, other people's timing for you. It's this different pace. It's this different way of living. As somebody who lives in Florida and watches thousands of people come here for vacation for a week at a time, and very often they're trying to get over 51 weeks worth of stress in 1 week. And they get here and they're all stressed out about what's going on at the beach. How's the weather? What's going on at this show? Is this place open or closed? Or where can I get to? Am I going to get there on time? Or did I get the right parking space? Whatever it is. And so they're coming down here and they're still rushing. And what I'm going to suggest to you is that your life doesn't have to be run at this sort of a pace. And that if you're running at this sort of a pace, there's a good chance you're missing out on some of the main reasons or some of the main goals that you're trying to achieve. And so again, if you have those 2 or 3 main goals in front of you, you know what they are. It's to achieve something specific. Yes, always great to have something you want to achieve. It's to spend some time with some certain people or doing some certain activities. Great, making time for those. Whatever that is, maybe it's you making a contribution to the world and sharing your work. Whatever those things are, they can be done in a rush, or they can be done at a pace that's sustainable, that allows you to continue doing them joyfully, having fun. If it's work, doing higher quality work with better energy, with greater focus. If it's relationships, being more present to the people you're with, being focused and able to hear them because you're not in such a hurry. If it's something that has to do with some sort of accomplishment of writing a book, it's doing it with a higher level of quality, of doing it in a way that you'd be proud of, that you don't have to go back and re-edit the whole thing. So much of this is about the pace you choose. And I can tell you that as somebody who's run at different paces in my life, it's not been fun when I've gone too fast. I've missed out on things. I've missed out on stages of life that were right in front of me. I've missed out on time sometimes with my kids because I just couldn't be present. I was so busy that I had to make a certain amount of money. And if I would make that certain amount of money, then darn it, I'd be a good dad and a good provider. And then that would mean I could be present with my kids. And yet, meanwhile, there they were right in front of me. Now, fortunately, I didn't do that for huge periods of time, but I've certainly missed out on things. Have you ever been talking to somebody and you realize you're kind of just somewhere else? That's very often what happens when we're running at such a fast pace. And so I encourage you to really savor life, to think about what are those 3 things, those 3 relationships, or it might be one relationship, one achievement, whatever it is, those 2 or 3 things in your life, that if you could only achieve 3 things or experience 3 things or enjoy 3 things in the next 12 months, if all you got were 3, what would those 3 be? And write those down. At the very least, if you have a smartphone, put them in your smartphone, write them on a piece of paper, have those in front of you, and you're always free to change them. But this will make sure that you're constantly looking at these. You keep this in your wallet or in your purse, on a Post-it note. Make sure that you're aware of what it is that's most important to you, and what you're going to find is when you're with those people, you can slow down your pace. You can be present, enjoy where you're at, enjoy the work you're doing, and not be in such a hurry. I hope you find this helpful. As always, I look forward to helping you create the life and the lifestyle you most desire so you can better enjoy your family, your friends, and your life. If you'd like to join a community of people committed to creating an abundant and sustainable 4-day workweek lifestyle, whether you're an employee, an entrepreneur, a freelancer, a side hustler, a startup, a CEO, an executive, wherever you're at, go to 4dayclub.com and you'll see we're inviting more and more people to create the life and the lifestyle they most desire. In my case, it took me 22 years after graduating college to create my abundant and sustainable 4-day workweek lifestyle. It shouldn't take you that long. It doesn't have to. I look forward to helping you create the life and the lifestyle you most desire so you can better enjoy your family, your friends, and your life. I look forward to seeing you in 4-Day Club. Thanks so much.